Welcome back everyone to Longmeister Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cyberpunk 2077. This is the Phantom Liberty expansion pack with the 2.0 patch that they just recently did, and I'm really excited to see what the performance of this game looks like on my RTX 4090. I will link down below what the current build is that I have, and I will be doing some upgrading to my PC here in the very near future. I think I'm going to switch cases and add some new water cooling features to my PC. Anyways, that being said, there's not going to be any additional resolutions other than 4K in this video. I apologize if that's something that you're interested in seeing, but the way I have everything set up here, I typically just game in the 4K resolution. So that's what I'm going to be taking a look at, and we're going to take a look at different things like how does it perform in native resolution. I expect it to be very poor. Then we're going to get into the frame generation technology with the DLSS, and we're going to take a look at what kind of impact the ray tracing and that ray reconstruct has that came along in this 2.0 patch. So really excited to see. We're going to be using the benchmark system here within the game engine, and one thing that is not going to change during this video are these settings right here. I'm going to leave this exactly the same in everything that we're doing. I'll try to put some chapters into the video so you can skip to specifically what it is that you would like to see if you're not interested in watching the entire video. But again, I just want to say before we get started, thank you so much for watching. There are literally like a million of these kind of videos on YouTube, and I do appreciate you stopping by my channel and taking time to watch my videos. It means a lot to me. If you do enjoy this content, please try to leave a like and help the channel out, and if you're not subscribed, consider dropping a sub and helping my numbers grow. It is always appreciated. So what are we going to start with? Let us start with native 4K resolution. We're going to turn off, let's see here, turn off our ray tracing, all that stuff. So these settings, let's see here, let me go right to the basic settings right here. We're not going to change these during this testing. We're going to leave these alone. I do have film grain turned off. It was on by default, and motion blur was set to high. I turned it off. My personal preference when I play games, I do not care for film grain, and I definitely do not like motion blur. It's just a personal preference of mine, and I want to do these tests with these items turned off. So we're also not going to make any adjustments under the advanced setting from contact shadows all the way basically down to this line for the ray tracing. This is all going to stay maxed out as high as it can go for the purposes of this testing. So the way we have it set up right now, this should be just strictly, let's see here, almost forgot to turn that off. Okay, apply everything. Okay, let's get started. Now, I will say, I do expect fairly low numbers in this native 4K. We'll see how bad it really gets when we start cranking things like the ray tracing up. Okay, so we are in the upper 30s, low 40s right now. I mean, the game is still smooth at least. I know a lot of people would not want to play on PC with this low of frame rates, but hey, you know, when I play on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, a lot of times I'm locked in at either 30 or 60 frames, and this to me is definitely playable. I think it looks great. There's a water puddle up here that we're going to want to pay attention to right here and see how pixelated and how blurry that is when we get to looking at some of the newer technology that is available in this 2.0 patch. We're really going to want to focus on that and see what kind of a difference these new settings make. So, is it playable? Yeah. Am I going to play it like this with these particular settings? No, I am not. We'll see that there are some settings later on that are going to be really, really good for some solid high frame rate. So we had a minimum of almost 30, a max of almost 74 with almost a 42 average. So let's sink deeper into the abyss on this, right? So we're going to turn on our ray tracing, and we will leave the path tracing technology off for this one, and we're not going to change anything else. Going to make sure to apply it. Let's run the benchmark again. Hopefully you guys don't get sick and tired of seeing this same video play over and over, but it is nice that this is a fixed section of the game for this benchmark, and we get an idea of our performance. I expect it to drop even further, and I expect the next one that we do, it's going to basically become unplayable. But this one, again, looks like we're really starting to get down close to that 30 FPS line. Probably would not want to go under that as far as the average goes. Definitely starting to notice some like smearing and stuff. Again, could you play it like this? Yeah. Am I going to? No. Okay, so a big difference already in that reflective puddle, just from the first round of settings to this round. Looks good, but I definitely would like to have higher frame rates. Okay, so we have got, yeah, I mean, we're about 37 frames. Now, we're really going to tank it out. Let's go ahead and turn our path tracing technology on. Each time we turn this on, it's going to basically kind of sort of warn us. And we will, I think we're going to leave everything else the same. Now, I will expect it to completely tank out. I would imagine that it's going to become unplayable at this point. I don't think anyone's going to want to play it like this. Again, this is all my opinion on this stuff, guys. So, take it with a grain of salt. You may completely disagree with me, which is completely fine. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no dice on this one. So we're looking at FPS in the teens. I haven't seen it get above 19 yet. There's a 21. Yippee. Yeah, so we're definitely, at least myself, I would not want to play like this. So this is with all the bells and whistles cranked, with ray tracing on, like the ultra setting or what have you. All bells and whistles, no frame generation technology or anything turned on. Reflection looks really good now, but again, this is not playable as far as I'm concerned. And now we will start, and once this is finished, we will start taking a look at some of this DLSS setting, and we'll go through those, and we will see a massive jump in our frames. But will we notice a degradation in the quality of, what the game actually looks like? That's my question. We'll see. I'm hopefully you guys have younger eyes than myself. I'm starting to have trouble, telling the difference in some of these things. You guys might be a lot easier for you to determine the differences. So we're going to turn on our frame generation technology, our DLSS, and we are going to go to quality first, because it'll be lower. The graphics we get, the FPS that we get is going to be lower. We'll leave our ray reconstruction on and keep all these settings the same. We'll leave our ray tracing on and our path tracing technology on, and let's see where we go, and then we will tick these in the opposite direction, and we should actually go up. So make sure that I did do that. That is, I thought I put that on quality. I think I did. Okay, make sure that stayed on quality. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Now we should notice a nice jump in our frames, but it won't be as dramatic as when we switch that from quality to ultra performance. I mean, we're going to see significant increases in our FPS when we do that. Let's see what this is. Okay, so we're up in the 70s now. 100% playable. I could definitely play the game like this, and I would have no complaints. Man, it looks fantastic. But we will definitely be able to squeeze more performance out of this. We should be able to, honest to goodness, we'll probably be able to more than double the frame rate that we're currently getting. Wow. That looks really, really good. So, me personally, I could definitely play through the Phantom Liberty expansion pack, or DLC. I could play through that with these settings and not complain about it. That, to me, this looks really, really good. But we're going to go for more frames. So, looks like we hit almost 90 in max, averaged almost 76. Not bad at all, at least in my opinion. So, we are going to reduce some things now. Let's turn off this. We'll leave the ray tracing itself on, and that turns the ray reconstruct off. Let's see what we jump up to now with the settings like this. Make sure that that all stayed the same. I have noticed that occasionally when I do this that these settings are, some of them are resetting. Right, we're up almost right at around 100 FPS, dipping down into the low 90s, upper 80s, but again, more than playable, looks great, and this is with us turning that ray reconstruction off. So that's basically the only difference between this pass and the last pass. So between the last run and this run, I could play the game in either of these two settings and literally not complain about it whatsoever. Alright, now let us go and I could just turn off like ray tracing altogether, but I'm not going to. Let's see, this video will end up taking forever to process because of the HDR anyways. So let's go ahead and jump to ultra performance, because I know a lot of people are going to be really interested in, you know, how many frames can we squeeze out of this thing. So let's do ultra performance. And let's go ahead and leave our ray tracing on and turn our path tracing technology on. Make sure that it kept it on ultra performance. It did. We'll go ahead and turn on our ray reconstruction technology. Alright, let's see what we do. The final benchmark we'll do is we're going to see like how many frames we can squeeze by turning off those new features but keeping it on ultra performance. Again, we should notice a nice marked increase in our frames here. But at what cost? Let's see. Okay, so to me it looks like our frames are good, but I'm noticing to me there seems to be some kind of like almost weird, like I don't know if I want to call it haloing or what that is around some of the characters. like when it first started. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. Man, it still looks really good, and the frames are rock solid now. Okay, now we're going to jump to, after this one, let's see what we did here. So, I mean, yeah, basically 138 frames on our average. Fantastic. So that's the ultra performance with the ray reconstruction turned on. Let's turn the ray reconstruction off. And let's turn off the path tracing technology and see what kind of performance we get. And then for the final one, we'll do one more after this. We're going to do same exact settings that we currently have right now. I'm going to turn ray tracing completely off, and that should give us the best frames that we're going to be able to get with ultra settings. Okay, I don't notice that weird stuff that was going on with the character models at the beginning of that last one. Yeah, the frames are really starting to get up there. I mean, I'd say we're going to be close to almost 200 frames a second once we turn like ray tracing and stuff off. I think it's going to be insane. And what's great is, I mean, you know, everybody's got their own opinion of what does or does not look good in these games, and you may find, you know, that a setting that works for you is different than what, you know, I would play as, and vice versa. But hopefully this will give you some idea of what to expect, at least at this 4K resolution with this particular kind of a card. I mean, obviously, it's definitely 100% playable now with these frames. And I think it's looked really well, except for that last one we did. I thought I noticed some weird things with the character models. So we're right at about 160 frames a second now for our average on that. We are going to go one more, and we are going to turn off our ray tracing and see what our performance is. I bet it's close to 200. And this will be the last one for this video. Oh, wow. So hopefully this will give, you know, because I do have, of course, an NVIDIA, you know, the RTX 4090. So hopefully this will give anyone who's using an AMD card that's not interested necessarily in the ray tracing stuff, maybe this will give you a better idea of, you know, the kind of bump you're going to see when you turn that ray tracing off. I mean, it is significant. And I'm well aware, I mean, the AMD cards can absolutely do the ray tracing. I know there's just a difference in the performance, that they do take a hit with that ray tracing. Of course, I think everything takes a hit with the ray tracing. So yeah, this is what the game looks like with the ray tracing turned off and the DLSS on, with the sharpening at 1.0. I think it looks really, really good. So I don't know how you would play it. What setting would be your favorite out of the ones that I have shown during this? I mean, we almost hit 200 for our average. Right at it. 199 anyways. So I will probably play it. Let me show you how I think I am going to play this. I know I said it earlier, but I think I'm going to go with quality, and I'm going to play it with the ray tracing on and maxed out, with the path tracing and the let's see, the ray reconstruct. I think that is the one that ran in the like upper 60s, mid 70s on the average. I think my short-term memory is trash, so please forgive me on that. But yeah, I think that's probably how I'm going to do my playthrough. But anyways, I'd like to hear from you down below in the comments and what your thoughts are on it and how you would play it. And again, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. And until the next one, guys, Longmeister out. Peace.